So, in this talk, we're going to be talking about design confidence unlocked, live feedback that changes everything with Whitney Delaney. So, thank you for coming along today, Whitney.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I wanted to just sort of share something with the audience that, when I started my business 8+ years ago, it wasn't until about 4 years in that I realized that all of my business friends were clients and coaches. And then I was like, I want to have some more Squarespace designer friends. So I started like all of my peers that I'd been following all of their blogs for a long time. I'd been going on I started going on stories on Instagram and just basically pretending like they're already my friends until they did become my friends. And then I went to Circle Day and I made connections there. I started my own Squarespace meetup in London. And then I did the summit. You came along to the summit, I think, or
Mhm.
you became part of my newsletter list. And then we had a coffee chat. And through that coffee chat and that connection, that's how this talk is happening today. And there's somebody else that's speaking today that Squarespace you do these connection calls sometimes online, and I found Poppy. We had a really good chat, and I was like, can you speak about this at my summit? So I just wanted to say to everybody here today, the power of connection and community is that
Mhm.
you can speak at a summit, you can have great chats and learn new things. Like Dave, I met at a meetup, and now Dave's like my tech guru. So do try and use these community spaces and either create them yourself if you don't have one near you, or try and join them. So yeah, that would be my advice. But anyway, I'm getting back to how we got chatting on that coffee chat. Was you telling me all about your beginning of your journey, and I thought I would really like to have you share that with everybody here and then go into what
Yeah.
Squarely is, the company, so that any new designers here or fledging or thinking they might do it, or even that are a few years in that still feel like maybe not that confident, um, what the service is that you're offering.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. We met on a coffee chat and you were just working on your course and I was coming up with this idea and I think it was a year ago or less than a year ago maybe. Is that right? Isn't it
I
around
feel like
that?
we had our chat a longer ago, but
Oh gosh, is it longer?
yeah, time flies, right? Oh, Mimi, please, can you put the
It
speaker
does.
button
It
below?
does.
Speaker page button.
I do have a little presentation so I don't get off track
That's good.
or
No.
forget anything. Let's see. Oh, that's cool. Okay. Sorry, I haven't used Crowdcast before. I'm just gonna do, oh, can I share my screen?
Yeah, but I think it's
Oh,
called
there it is.
present.
Let's see. Okay, you might see my speaker notes unless someone knows how to hide them. Don't read them, just pretend they're not there. But this is more so I just don't forget to an extent as well, like the things I wanted to cover. So yes, Liz asked me if I would share my story. Oh gosh, that's terrible, isn't it? How do you hide all of these things? Here, we can do this.
I mean, I love
Oh,
how I'm going to show you good design and look at my really
I know.
badly presented presentation software.
I
Is
did
there not a
play
way
with
that you
that.
can make it large? Like,
Let me, well, it's funny because it's displaying on my screen as a presentation, but you're
oh, it
seeing the back
is.
end. Yeah, that's so weird. Oh
What
well.
is this? What is this program you're using this? Is this PowerPoint?
It's Keynote. It's the
Oh, I've
Apple
never used,
version.
I only use Canva.
Okay, it's okay. I have a PDF. Let's move to that.
Okay, let's
Sorry
discuss.
about that. Let's see. Select the PDF and see what happens there. Okay. Is that
Okay,
better?
people were telling you what you could have done, but anyway,
Oh my gosh, this is why I love our community. Yes, thank you.
yes. I mean,
um, yeah, so oh gosh, yeah, you can tell I don't present very often. But I started designing 3 years ago. Before that, I was an SEO and strategist, and I worked at a Squarespace design agency, and I was just surrounded by these incredible designers, and I always wanted to go into design. And so 3 years ago, I went out on my own, and I was doing SEO, but I really wanted to try design. And I felt like it's also a lot easier to sell a website and SEO, because SEO, as important as it is, it's boring. And like, I didn't love it. So yeah, so you can see here, this is my first ever website that I ever built. And it was for my wedding, my micro wedding with my husband. Um, but yeah, so I had watched all these incredible designers. I would reference their sites all the time. And then I started trying to build my own. And it just wasn't like clicking. For some reason, mine, even though I felt like I was trying to kind of replicate their skills and like their principles, it just, I don't know, it looked amateur and just wasn't quite there. And so, hold on one second. I'm going to go back to my notes so I can see them too. But yeah, so I tried to take courses. I and I love the courses, but 3 years ago, there actually weren't many design courses out there at all. Like, there's tons of Squarespace courses, but they're very much like how to run a Squarespace business and all of that. And so, um, I just really struggled to kind of find a good resource for design. And once again, as much as I love um, courses, I'm just super ADHD, and I struggle to finish them. And even if I do finish them, I just have a really hard time like retaining all of that information. And so I really wanted to find a way to like make small incremental changes that could grow over time. And so I reached out to one of my friends. His name is Wes. He's an incredible Squarespace designer. And I asked him, I was like, hey, will you review my websites and record a 5-minute video and just give me like 1 to 3 tips of little things that could kind of have a bigger impact and just make the whole design a little more cohesive. So I made him use the free version of Loom because he he would go way longer, and I paid him $35 per video. And so he would just look at my site and then he would make these suggestions. Um, and it was incredible because I could watch these 5-minute videos, which was like super easy to consume. And then I could go apply it immediately to the site and see how it like impacted the overall design. And then as soon as I did this, and this is sites that were already live, I'm just going in and making changes,
This
not even
is so
telling my clients.
smart. This is so smart. That's why I was like, you've got to come on, Shella.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. So yeah, so then as soon as I tried it on the site, I had asked him for feedback on it, then go apply it to all of my other sites and like see how it worked or when it didn't work. And it was just so fun to like hear also partially like what I was doing well as a designer, and then the ways I could improve. And so we did that for like months, like 6 months. Just anytime I finished a website, I'd send it over and be like, hey, and then sometimes, I'd implement his changes and I'd send it over again. I'd be like, okay, what's next? How can we improve this more? And it was just being able to apply these small changes incrementally over time and keep practicing them was amazing. And it was funny. I think my next slide talks about this a little bit. Let me go to it. Oh, yeah. So this is why it worked. And it's actually funny. I found out I won one of the awards.
No.
Oh my gosh.
One of the Q awards.
You're like on the call. I'm like, oh, Max and Dexter. That was me.
Whitney, that's so
that was
nice.
incredible. I almost grabbed a picture and like threw it in here.
Oh, I love that so much for you. And because of what you've done, you wouldn't be
and
there
being kind of a
without
mentor.
your friend helping you be a better designer. And that's what this product is that you're going to talk about. I'm very excited.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So yeah, I kind of covered this, but the feedback was quick and focused and really easy to consume and apply. Um, and yeah, I just gained so much confidence. One, like not only in presenting my designs, because I kind of learned how to talk about the positive things and why they're important, but also just knowing that I had like a designer behind me who had a lot of experience, who's kind of keeping an eye and making suggestions. It really helped me grow in my confidence as well. And I was thinking back to when I was at the agency, we would bring on designers and like they would improve in 6 months at such an insane rate. Like their websites, they'd come in and, they'd start designing, they'd be a little rough. But I mean, by the end, they were like, after about 6 months, maybe a few more, I mean, they were just pushing boundaries and coming up with completely creative, like out of the box ideas that were beautiful. And I realized it's because they had this team. And like when they got stuck on something, they would just like tap a friend and be like, hey, what do you think? This is what I'm struggling with. Um, and then they could get that feedback and that help right away. And then also we had this thing called design team meetings, which is something I'm super excited to implement. But we would meet like just once a month and we'd talk about what we were struggling with, what went really well, our like successes and wins, new design hacks that we, have discovered and shared, and then also like our favorite tools. And it was just such a great time to be. I mean, some of the time we were even just in meeting rooms like this, just large meetings online. But it was just so wonderful to feel that community. And so that's what we wanted to create with Squarely, is just a community that's like super design obsessed, wants to spark creativity and help designers kind of hone their skills, but also just really build their confidence.
Can I just say
Um,
now, if you go
yeah.
back a slide before you go into this one, on your website in Squarely now, can we have on there award-winning Squarespace designers?
Oh my gosh, I have to add that. I'm so excited.
I'm excited about that. Sorry.
It's so
Okay.
exciting. I
And
remember
this can
when,
be in your bio. This shit
oh my
works.
gosh, it's going everywhere. I mean, I
Yeah,
just found
like
out
because it works.
that.
It's you did SEO. You wanted to do design. You didn't feel like you
Mhm,
were any good, or you could be better. And
mhm.
now I'm an award winner. Okay,
Yeah,
I'll stop
yeah.
interrupting.
I'm so grateful for Michael to Creating Cube. I learned about it during the Squarespace Circle Day. And immediately, like literally, I think maybe a few days later, I was like, okay, which category can I, like, do I have a good shot at? And I was like, one pager. I have a one pager. And so I submitted it immediately. But I love that he's doing that, because that was actually something we were considering doing. But now that he's doing it, we'll just link out to him. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. So, but yeah, thank you. That's really exciting. So yes, so that is how Squarely was born. I should give you a little more information. I might jump over to the website in a second, but I had been dreaming about this for, I don't know, quite a while, and trying to talk friends of mine who were like really high end designers who had taught other designers into joining me. And then one of my friends, Savannah, she isn't the co founder of Squarely. She actually was like the design team lead at the company that I worked at, and she had a baby and just wanted something more flexible. And so she agreed to come on and help provide design feedback. So she is my co founder. If you want to check out her site, it's amazing. If you go to Squarely Creative and just scroll down to the bottom, she has it's a quick portfolio site of like everything she's done. And the variety is just so much fun. Like it's so inspiring. I love seeing. I don't know about everyone else. I know some designers like love to have a style that they hone into and they're known for.
Mm,
Personally, I just really love the challenge of meeting a client and like bringing their whole brand to life, and just making a website that they're really proud of and that gives them confidence, but also just really reflects like their goals and their brands and how they want people to feel in working with them. And so I think that's what keeps designing websites so fun, because it's so varied. Like each
mm.
client's unique and each site can be so different. Um,
I really love the
so,
branding for I like the logo. I like the
oh, thank
illustrations. It's
you.
fun.
I
Yeah.
love it too. Savannah, she did all the brand. She is my pro. She's actually out of town. I was gonna bring her, but she's in Mexico this week with her family on a vacation. But yeah, normally I would make her do the slides. But she is fantastic. But yeah, the goal is to create a community that's just lets you feel like you're part of a design team and really gives you that support, very targeted towards Squarespace design. And the whole community is going to live in Slack, or it does live in Slack. It does live in Slack. We're just rolling it out. We did a little like light launch in December, just to kind of learn and practice and see capacity and things with a few friends. And so now we're like rolling it out for this. So I'm so grateful for
Yeah.
this. Yeah. So let's see. So I have, this is what Squarely will kind of be, but ultimately, um, members will be able to submit websites for reviews, and they can get like a 5-minute video of like 1 to 3 really actionable tips to help them improve their design. Or even if you're like just really stuck on something, we have another channel where like you don't have to necessarily submit a website and get a full design, but you can just like submit a Loom video and be like, I'm stuck on this, help, and anyone can help respond as well. So we'll have that support in there. We're going to be doing the like monthly meetups where we can just chat and get to know each other and look at really cool websites, and talk about our tools. And then we'll also be sharing. Our goal is to share one training or resource per month. So we actually have one right now. I'll share it in just a second, but Savannah's created a style toolkit for designers who may be like trying to recreate a style and to help them understand. Oh, there it is. Thank you, Rhonda. That is the site. It is squarelycreative.com. But yes, she's creating a really cool style toolkit that kind of just guides on like best practices when you want to create a modern site and versus maybe a more rustic site. And so there's a couple of different design styles, and just walking through the different elements you want to consider and making recommendations on those. And she has a video with each style to kind of coach you through best practices and why things are certain ways. I think it's great. Once you understand the rules, then you can intentionally break them, and it just makes it all even more fun. So this is really helpful just to get a good guide and understanding for different design styles. Yeah, so there we go. There's a QR code to the homepage. And if you sign up before April 1st, you can lock in our early bird pricing for $35 a month. And you can also download our style toolkit, which let me switch and I can just give you a peek at what that looks like.
Let me get my phone out. I need to get this
Oh,
QR
sorry.
code.
Yes. Yes. Squarelycreative.com.
Cool. Yeah, sorry, you can.
Okay. Yeah, let me jump over there really quick. Here we go. What's in edit mode? There we go. So yeah, you can get a little peek. We're adding styles as quickly as we can, but here you can see some of the style rules. We have a nice video kind of coaching you through lots of example sites, which you'll recognize one of them because it is Max and Dexter.
An award-winning website.
Yeah. And then we have fonts and like different font pairings for the different types of sites that work really well. So if you're trying to come up with a good font pairing for a site, you can do that. And then some color guides, dividers, layouts, elements. And she walks through and coaches you through how to use those different elements all in the video. So it's just a really fun and helpful guide, hopefully, for everyone. And then at the bottom, you can actually request other styles. So if there's a style you really want help with or guidance on, you can submit that request, and we would love to work on that for you. So yeah, oh my gosh, right on time. I actually had put together like a tutorial, and then I took it out because I knew I was going to go way over.
I know, I'm always like a person that goes way over, but like I'm really excited for anybody that is on here, because I think, like you said, Whitney, do you want to stop sharing the screen?
Oh yes, thank you.
So I think what's really interesting is there aren't that many design, and maybe there are, and people are screaming like maybe the marketing's not, you know, they've not been able to get it out into the world enough, or like I've not heard of it. But I think you know, I know there are great courses like Square Stylist with like coding and stuff as well. And I know there are courses out there, but I think this is great because it's live feedback. I like the looms, you know, how you said with your ADHD, like going through a course. I think you bought my course, haven't you?
I did,
I
yes.
know.
And
I don't know if you've have you finished it?
Oh,
No.
I'm so sorry.
No, absolutely fine. And
I've been dying to buy Michael's as well, his Square Kicker course,
yes,
but I just know I'm like, when am I going to do it? And so I've been waiting until there's time, and there's never time.
yeah. And I think that is why this is good. And I think, you know, you only learn from like those little steps when somebody shows you something. It's like with fashion, if somebody says, you know, if you know, when do a French tuck, you tuck your jumper into the front of your jeans, and you're like, oh, this suddenly makes my top look cooler. Like you would
Hmm.
never think to do that. And sometimes you can see things on a website like, I love the look of this, but you don't know why that looks
Hmm.
like that and yours doesn't. So I think if you can have these comparisons, it's really cool. Um, Michael's saying the square kick course is quite long.
I
Um,
know, honestly, that's kind of why, but I am really excited.
maybe
And
I don't know if he's got if he Michael can do like a masterclass, like his favorite top 10 things or
yeah,
something to
Michael,
use
do
in there. Like
it. I love
I would
Michael's
buy
work.
that.
It's incredible. I go to
I,
his site all the time for inspiration.
that's
And
nice.
Dave too. I can't wait for Dave's course. Oh my gosh, I love Dave. He has given me feedback on my websites and like helped me make them better. He's amazing. He's such
Yeah,
a
he
good
is
guy.
really good. Um, Now, is there any questions anybody's got
Uh,
today for today's chat? I need to look at Square Kicker. Yeah, like
yeah.
Square Kicker are amazing. And the
Hmm.
team are just so nice and friendly. They've been speakers here before, Hannah and Nick. Just really, really good people, and really good
Hmm.
design.
And they've
Um,
rolled out a YouTube channel with like little short videos on how to use each of their tools, which I'm so glad because before I struggled a lot to use their tools. And I have them, but I don't use them very often. I don't use them to their fullest capability because I just need to go watch more of those tutorials. But
I'm gonna
I
do
think
that.
yeah,
Because
go check them
I
out.
feel overwhelmed because I want it. That's why I got Dave on because I'm like, can you show me about pinning and animation?
Hmm.
Like I want to learn a bit more about that, but it's quite overwhelming, isn't it? So that's really good if there are little bite-sized videos. Can we ask each other for feedback on pricing our work? I'd love to show someone a site and say, how much should I have charged for this? It's a good question. What do you think, Whitney?
Yeah, I say, I'm sorry, I was typing in a response. I don't know why. I forgot I can talk. Yeah, absolutely. I say throw it in there. I mean, our goal isn't to get into like templates or email sequences or anything that's really business related. It really is to focus on design, but yeah, throw it in there.
I think people can ask in there, and it's everybody's got their own
Hmm.
individual style and what they would charge, and I think sometimes that's to do with self worth and what you think that
Hmm.
I remember when I first began my journey, I was going to charge a certain price, and I worked with a business coach, and she said double that, and I was like, ugh. And I doubled it, and I got 3 clients, but she gave me the confidence to do it. And I think it would
Hmm.
have taken me hands down from where I was going to go to where she made me start right at the beginning. I think it would have taken me 2 years to get to there. And she did it in a conversation. I was like, okay. And
That's
then I got the
amazing.
clients, and then that gives you the confidence.
Hmm. And
But
that's our goal is also to help people feel confident to charge higher prices, but also improve their skills to where other people see their sites, go down to the footer, like Michael was saying earlier, click on it and move to their site. And I get most of my clients through the footers of the sites I've designed.
yeah,
I'm
me
terrible
too.
at marketing. I've been
Yeah,
doing it for 20 years for other people and never done it for myself. But yeah, the link in the footers is very powerful, especially if you have a site that really resonates with people.
or an award-winning one. I'm to keep on saying that now.
Oh my gosh, you're my
What
favorite. Thank you.
what was the other thing I was going to say? I must admit, I've like my biz bestie for like 8 plus years now. I'll ring her up if I'm stuck with something. I'm like, look, there's something not clicking with me with this website. I can't figure out what it is. And she'll just go,
Hmm.
why don't you add something like this? Or do you remember a site you've worked on that you did this with? And then she'll say it. And even if it's not quite right, it unclicks something with me. So I think if you're
Hmm.
having those design monthly meetings, like that's really valuable and fun.
Yeah.
So
And even
right.
in the review sessions, we'll try to give examples of sites doing something similar. And that's something
Yeah.
that Wes did with me. He'd show me like what he recommended, or he'd tell me, and then he'd go over sites he'd designed and show me where it had worked really
Yeah.
well and why. And that helped a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, thank
Well,
you so much.
I think this is the end of this one. I hope you get lots of members,
Oh,
Whitney.
thank you. Oh, I do have
That
one more question actually, or
Yeah,
one more comment. So I did put together a presentation on like how do you create like a website style when the client only has a logo and like maybe one color. And then it was too long for this, so we will be rolling that out in the next month of like, hey, when you only get a logo, like how do you create like a website that's just really impactful and resonates with people and
Will
stuff.
that be a free download on Squarely, or
Oh no, it's going to be one of the resources in
it's one of
Squarey.
the resources within the thing? Great. Okay,
Yeah,
brilliant.
yeah, yeah.
Great.
So
Well, this
really
sounds
excited.
sounds brilliant. So, well, I hope this has been helpful for everybody and a good tool to learn. And we are now going to go to our next talk. So, thank you so much, and I
Thank you so
will see
much.
you all soon.